He's a good donut. Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my Chanel, and welcome to another episode of Tiramisu. Supersize versus Superskinny. Well. It has been about 3 months since I've done the last episode of this show, my lovelies, and it is often fraught with discourse in the comments, shall we say. This show seems to very much be towing the line between something that people can rally behind and be like, my goodness me, this is a great idea. And then on the other hand, we see people saying this is the worst show that's ever been made and only promotes negative body image. And let me say, I kind of agree with both of these camps with this discourse, if you like. And I think we will probably be getting into that a little bit more today, my lovelies. Yes. If you do not know me, my name is Luxeria, and I am a YouTuber reacting to reality TV monstrosities from the early to late 2000s. I myself have been on a weight management journey now for, well, I started in 2019, it's now 2025, so, 6 years. I managed to achieve my weight management goals by doing small amounts of incremented calorie in, calorie out methodology, as well as light daily exercise. And it took years. So do not believe any of those fad diets that are like, oh my God, she dropped 100 kilos in a day.
She's dead.
Grab yourself a beverage. Today it is energy wigs for me. Now, pop your little hanger right into your supersize hole. And let's watch Supersize versus Superskinny with Dr. Christian Jessen.
Stiffy blancmange.
Oh yes, I forget every time that I can't exactly put the intro here because it is just boobage and panage and vagage. So, it is kind of unnecessary though, the idea that this was just on primetime TV, just to be like, hello, this is what it is and what it isn't.
In the 21st century, the desire to be a size zero has been a growing trend.
It has. Do you remember that? Do you remember the phenomenon of size zero that was literally everywhere when I was a teenager? I believe this show actually aired as I was just leaving my teenage years into my adult years, but I was still very, very impressionable. And the idea of size zero has never, ever left my psyche, shall we say. I have had friends lose their life to the pursuit of size zero, and I think shows like this and the fashion industry and things like America's Next Top Model did not help the cause for impressionable young people.
In our feeding clinic over the last 8 weeks, Dr. Christian Jessen's been working tirelessly to overturn this freakish fashion.
A lot of very, very underweight women collapsed down dead suddenly.
But this week could be the toughest for Dr. Jessen yet, when he's faced with a gang
of juice queens that he just can't fit anywhere.
This dangerous fashion to be thin isn't just affecting women. An increasing number of young men are letting their weight drop worryingly low.
It's true, it is true.
Alex.
The strange thing about shows from this day and age almost made it a little bit strange if men had issues with under-eating, shall we say. Society at that time treated men's health issues as like something to be really secretive. Like, we just don't talk about that. You don't talk about him. You don't involve yourself. You just move on. I've known a few men in my life have body dysmorphia, shall we say. Dysphoria? Dysmorphia? Probably a little bit of both, to be honest. And sometimes the way that they are treated is so abhorrent by their family and medical healthcare professionals that it really does underline the concept that men's health and women's health are two very different things, but they're almost like different sides of the same coin. They need different approaches, but they must be approached. Someone said something on Reddit the other day that which really stuck to me, is that now men are quite often using intermittent fasting almost in a showboaty bragging sort of way. Sometimes, not all the time, obviously. That not eating for hours and 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 then only eating a small amount of food and then fasting again for hours and hours and hours and hours is somehow something to be proud of and not necessarily linked to something that we might see on a show like Supersize versus Superskinny. I think a lot of the time, sometimes people don't even realise, they don't even realise that there's an issue.
22-year-old Alex Law is a super skinny from Stockport.
Oh my goodness me.
He hasn't eaten a decent meal since he left home 5 years ago. But despite being a dinner dodger, Alex is desperate to fill out.
A dinner dodger. Stop that. You know, I know plenty of MySpace girlies that would have absolutely ravaged this man.
I'm going to cream.
He would have been the golden boy in some of their eyes.
I know I should definitely be a lot heavier than I am. I can, look in the mirror and look gaunt.
My goodness me.
I'd say the pressure
you would
was
have
on
been
for men
ravaged
to
on
be
MySpace.
Bigger or bulkier or muscular, more muscular.
Sorry, his voice is so deep, I sort of missed that. There was a... Did he say pig in a bucket, more muscular?
No, he wears a wig.
I'd say the pressure was on for men to be bigger or bulkier or muscular.
Bigger and bulkier.
Alex works
Yes,
long
there is.
hours as a plasterer,
Bigorexia,
but not
it's
even
called.
this physically
The
demanding
plasterer.
job can persuade him to refuel.
Right.
Yeah, that's it, just climb.
Don't get too close to Dr.
At an
Christian.
obvious
He'll start getting you on the trend.
Alex's weight should be around 12 stone.
So you are 10 stone 4.
To get his body to a healthy weight, he needs to gain 2 stone.
Ironically, or perhaps not ironically, he weighs the same amount that I do.
It's kind of obvious where you're going wrong, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Breakfast, 1 caffeine pill. What's that all about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just a way of getting me out of bed.
So you're going to have a good lunch, yeah?
No.
No lunch at all?
No.
And do you not feel hungry?
Not particularly, no. But I am very aware of the fact that I'm tired.
I'm always of the opinion that before you start a weight management journey, whether that is to bulk up or to effectively reduce your body weight, always get your hormone levels checked, a full blood count, anything to make sure that your body is functioning as we would expect a regular body to function. If he takes a caffeine pill in the morning for breakfast, which is, as I understand it, ludicrous. Don't get me wrong, that is bonkers. That is not a breakfast. I personally myself don't like breakfast because I find that it makes me feel a little bit nauseous to wake up and eat immediately. I need like a couple of hours before I can really get my brain going and then be like, oh, I've got an appetite now. I should start, my food intake for the day. He might have a surplus of the satiated hormone, which means that you just don't get hungry. This is kind of how the latest GLP analogs work. They mimic this feeling of getting fuller faster or remaining full, and actually a medical breakthrough when used correctly. However, caffeine itself will suppress your appetite because it is a stimulant and you can't eat on stimulants. Any of my nightclub queen girly wigs out there that's perhaps done a 1 or 2 naughty might understand that you're not going to eat, are you? No. Naughty.
You're making me a crazy chick. You driving me to insanity.
But
That is quite
I am
fringe,
very
isn't it?
aware of the fact
MySpace
that
hoomst.
I'm tired. That's when I decide, I better eat something.
Yeah.
It's
Tired.
not a case of, I feel hungry, I shall eat. It's a case of...
Interesting. Maybe there is something a bit more to it.
Alex's caffeine pill breakfast just about gets him through the morning.
Oh yeah, let's film you take some pills, go, oh, hey, ecstasy, eat a good donut.
After a full day's hard plastering, he's so tired he can't be bothered to make
Sugar
a decent
crashing,
dinner and
sugar
instead
rushing.
crams in sugary snacks as quickly as he can.
Oh gosh.
I do tend to eat on the trot, and I don't think I've ever really specifically gone and done a week's shop for food. I need someone with a whip to, eat properly.
Cuckold.
She pegs him, I'm sorry.
No, Generation Beta who?
Why is no one talking about the cuck tent?
It is really funny how, societal perception of people might look at someone like him and be like, oh, he's quite healthy, young and fit and blah, blah, blah. But he is gorging on chocolate eclairs in his car in the rain at night after a long shift. Which is not, I think all of us here, every single person here might have done that once or twice. I know I do. It's Ben & Jerry's ice cream that gets me, specifically the cookie dough one. Also a pain au chocolat. Oh, stop it, Nancy! I don't think any of us here would say, what a wonderfully well-balanced, nutritional, healthy diet that is. Would you agree? No. If we saw, the damage on the outside that our diet had to us in, a really dramatic, immediately visible way, I think people would be a lot more willing to see the damage before it's too late, so to speak. Imagine if your whole arm started turning deep blue every time you ate 7 chocolate eclairs back to back. You'd be like, I'm probably gonna stop doing that, actually. Maybe a nice broccoli. Yeah, definitely. Oh, food for thought, isn't it? An eclair for thought.
Eat properly, you fool.
Eat properly, you fool.
Alex hasn't eaten a decent meal since he left home to
Oh,
live
not a
on
meal
his
deal.
own.
I do worry about him. When he comes to my house and he pulls his skin and says, look
Vanessa.
how thin I am, I've got no flesh and all the rest of it. In the long term, I do think he's going to get quite serious illnesses.
At 12?
When he was a child, he had all the healthy stuff. All the baby food had to be handmade and organic. And then to see him now, at 22 years old, just sitting there eating donuts and rubbish.
Maybe that's why you went
Alex
all organic
claims
baby
not to have
food.
time to eat, but he has all the time in the world to make sure his car runs like a well-oiled machine.
Okay. Oh, yellow car!
So now,
beat!
time his own body
Beat.
had an MOT.
Mott.
And a supersized shock tactic is on its way.
Cinema.
In the form of 34-year-old telesales worker from Bridgend, Tracy Morgan.
Hello, Tracy girl.
They tend not to eat at all. That's in my experience anyway.
What?
Whereas Alex runs his body on empty, Tracy's gauge is always on full. She's a big-bellied lover of bumper breakfasts, lunches and dinners.
Not beans. Oh, the Great British Bean is a Great British scandal, girls.
Beanies, beanie weenies, beanie weenies, beanie weenies, beanie weenies. Oh.
I must say, I am partial to like a naughty, dirty British fry-up. Oh, yeah, girl. I mean, obviously I am pescatarian, so I don't eat meat like this. But I love a hash brown. Hash brown, eggs, toast, mushrooms. Delicious. Maybe an eggs Benedict without the bacon. Eggs Florentine, if you like. But it's so easy sometimes for food addiction to be masked by other things, such as just simply saying something like, I just love a full English. It's like, yes, but are you addicted to eating them every day? Is that a reason why? God, it's so difficult, isn't it? Imagine if life was just... Imagine if you could just, like, tell your body, no, I don't want to be able to be at your whim today, actually. We're going to overwrite that and we're going to say, no, you now enjoy having this. Like, you know, executive function, being able to actively control parts of your subconscious. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be lovely, girl?
She's a big-bellied lover of bumper breakfasts, lunches and dinners.
God,
this
British
boredom
TV
binger
loves the
fills
puns,
her time
doesn't it?
and her
Big-bellied,
face with
bumper-bedded,
food.
bobbly-bib.
As a call centre worker, her mouth is always on the move.
There's a
And
witch
if she's
behind her.
not talking, she's eating.
Oh, defying gravity!
Machine and stuff, and
Rebecca
lots of
Pride.
crisps and chocolate mainly.
Of the LGBT Pride dynasty.
That's got a couple of packets
Kelly.
of crisps in and
Kelly
chocolate
Rowland.
bars. Usually I have to tell her to make sure she's concentrating on taking her calls rather than eating her food that's on her desk a lot of the times.
For the next 5 days.
Because snacks are one of those naughty little things that disguise themselves as like not really food. Like, oh, it's just a snack. It's not really food. It's just a snack. It's just a snack, girl. Should we have snacks? Yeah, let's get a snack.
Who wants the cake? Cake.
I'm all dressed up.
Cake?
I'm all dressed up.
Do you want the cake?
You wouldn't say this meal of twirls, would you? You wouldn't say this meal of Twixes, but that's essentially what it is. It's a bunch of carbohydrates, sugar and fats, masquerading as something that's not really food when it is. And don't get me wrong, these established companies know that, and they will make them in bright coloured packaging in order for you to just think, oh yeah, go on, have another one, yeah. And the thing is, I really like chocolate bars, but it's one of those things where it's consideration over moderation. You have to consider, if I do want to have 3 now, can't have 3 later.
Alex is going to adopt Tracy's supersize routine in a bid to rediscover his taste buds. As for Tracy, living off Alex's snack-only diet
This is so
should
bad.
open her eyes
How
to
on
her
earth is this
excess
ethical
eating.
to like
19 stone.
starve
30.
someone and stuff
Perfect,
someone else?
just
Which
one of those taller,
reminds
haven't
me,
you?
girl, it's time for a top comment from the last episode of Supersize vs. Superskinny. And that is by Forge13. And they say, the words starving the supersized and stuffing the superskinny are so unbelievable. Like, y'all didn't think that that was problematic? The answer is no. Those sorts of languages were very normal back in the day. And you know what is kind of strange? Everything we see about these shows, including even the fashion shows that we see, like What Not to Wear and 10 Years Younger, the narrator seems to be the most harshest critique or criticizer involved in the whole show production, maybe except Fat Families, because he is just awful to people.
Mr. and Mrs. Massive Fatty.
Perfect. Just means if I was taller, I'd be right.
It's body obvious you couldn't meet 2 more
10
different
versus
people.
19, okay.
You'd think as a plasterer with all that upper body work, Alex's biceps would be bulging.
Well, it depends
But
what
his
he plasters.
upper arm
If
is
he's doing
7
this.
inches smaller
My
than
boyfriend is a
Tracy's.
plasterer, and I know that he's like,
With a weight
"Oos,
difference
oos,
of over
oos,"
9
every day.
stone, Both Alex and Tracy need to learn how to
Alex and
balance their
Tracy.
diet.
Your dinners, are not too bad. They're balanced. There's some protein, there's some carbohydrates, lots of vegetables. That's great. But there's an awful lot of junk food and sweeties and things throughout the day.
I have made an effort. I mean, there was a time when I did lose quite a lot of weight and I was down to like 14, 16-ish. I stayed like that for about a year and then I started to creep back on and on and on.
Why?
Because like I went for a meal one day and someone said, do you want a piece of chocolate cake? And I just never stopped saying yes.
You are setting...
That doesn't sound like someone who is fully able to control their urges, does it? That sounds to me like an addiction, which has to be treated in a completely different way than just simply saying like, well, why don't you eat less and move more, girl? It's really easy. Just do part A and you do part B and then you get result C. Telling an alcoholic, well, why don't you just stop drinking? Have you thought about just stop drinking? Telling a narcotics addict, oh, have you just thought about not doing that? Telling a depressed person, oh, have you just thought about not being depressed? Telling an anxious person, just don't be anxious. Do it anyway. Just don't be anxious. This mindset does not work. It doesn't provide a step-by-step guided program, almost to rehabilitation, if you like. There's always a root cause, and understanding what that root cause is can sometimes really be beneficial to understanding the journey one must go on, but also the journey doesn't necessarily have a destination. It can have goals and stops along the way, but the best diet in the world is the one that you can stick to forever, which is why things like the cayenne pepper diet, the lemon and salt water diet, the roast potato diet aren't diets. They are disorders.
You are setting yourself up for big problems. My big worry with you is there is a family history of illness already, isn't there? There's diabetes, there's heart problems. So you have got to start caring about yourself a little bit more.
Genetics plays a big weight, doesn't it?
Something
Plays
Alex
a big
is familiar
factor.
with. So what will be his gut reaction to Tubby Tracy?
Tubby Tracy? Okay, that's too far. There's no need to get personal, is there? Unpleasant woman.
It's time for Supersize.
Oh, that's
to
back
meet
in the like
Super
boxing.
Skinny.
What, this is a fighting situation.
I'm
Like,
Tracy.
oh, in the red corner, we've got Lady. Oh, it's a bit provocateur, isn't it? Like voyeuristic. Like,
Let's feel you out. Well, there's nothing to me.
There's not. I
was quite shocked, obviously, but I'm sure she was shocked at my skinny little frame. But
it's always the tall boys, isn't it? Yeah.
Skinny little frame. But yeah, I've never seen someone that size in the flesh.
What don't you eat then?
I really don't eat that much. Not even eat breakfast really half the time, or lunch for that matter.
How about the language
What do you
here?
eat?
These shots are so purposefully unglamorous. The cinematography. Would you even call it cinematography? Isn't cinematography meant to be like compelling in a storyline? Mind you, I guess horror stories are still cinematography, aren't they? The videography here is purposefully desaturated and overexposed to make the human body look as repulsive as possible. And then, of course, you're adding on top quite shocking imagery of people that are very frail and people that aren't. It's all designed to make us think something and feel something as a viewer, to kind of be like, well, and I just think these sorts of conversations don't really help, do they? And this is why I will always say that this show is not ethical, would never pass an ethics board now, because it's not treating these people with dignity and respect.
Nervous about not eating anything? Yes, definitely, because he seems not to eat a lot of food, so...
How is it ethical to switch diets and not just be like,
I
right,
am
here you both
slightly
go?
worried about the diet, obviously, because it's going to be quite a large change. She does appear to eat a lot.
Over the next few days, Tracy will be trying to get
Oh, here we
Alex to
go.
pile on some desperately needed pounds.
Forgot about
by
this. Here we go,
preparing and
girls.
passing
Are you
on
ready
her
for
plentiful portions.
repulsion?
But
Repulsion
first, Dr. Jessen wants
TV.
to show them both what 1 week of their current eating looks like.
Oh, God, right.
Starting with Alex's barely there breakfast.
Pills. These are good. These are good.
Tracy,
That is obscene. Sorry, even a sane person would agree that it is insane to be like, caffeine tablets for breakfast. I feel like that must have been a production thing. Like, no one would genuinely think, oh, for breakfast, I have a caffeine tablet. I would probably even say, oh, no, I don't eat breakfast. I wouldn't be like, well, I have my ADHD medication for breakfast. Like, that doesn't make sense at all.
Those are caffeine pills.
I'm starving already.
I thought it was an iPhone then. I was
That's
like, what?
breakfast for Alex over the course of a week.
Over a week? I thought you meant a day.
No, this is a week. Let's have a look what you get through for lunch.
2 pieces of bread a week. Oh, God, piss. Piss, girl. Go piss, girl.
I think that's it for lunch now. For the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those 10 are not over the course of the week, are they, Alex? What are they?
It's a night.
What else would you go through? There's an eclair come
Are they gonna put this woman on a diet of piss and donuts? Are they gonna put this woman on a diet of piss and donuts? I know I called the last episode the most controversial, but I think this one might be girly wigs.
What else would you go through? There's an eclair come down. 1, 2, 3.
He's a bit like a naughty child, isn't he?
First bit of vegetable we've
Right,
seen
we've
the
got
entire
rice.
week. This is a 6'4" chap, all right? And that is what he gets for an entire week for food, and he wonders why he's not putting on any weight.
The average man requires 2,500 calories a day.
Was there any-
But because of his active job, Alex needs 3,000 calories a day.
That's
At
quite
the moment,
understandable.
he's eating just over 2,000. So he's under-eating by at least 2 days' worth of food every week.
I mean, the maths
He's lacking
isn't quite mathing there, but that is generally kind of a rule, is that the average only counts to you if you are an absolute, bone average person, which none of us are. Spoiler alert. Lol. A person who sits down at an office job, for example, all day and does minimal exercise will not need as many calories as somebody who has a very active job, such as in construction, lifting things around, a personal trainer. Any of those sorts of roles are going to need more calories than someone who isn't in those roles. But they're still talking about averages. They haven't done any calculation to be like, this guy exactly needs this much and exactly needs that much, because nature doesn't work in nice round numbers, just so you know. Could be a bit more science to it, couldn't there? But then again, of course, this is aimed at like an average audience experience at the same time, because it's kind of under the guise of like infotainment.
He's lacking essential minerals and vitamins, which
Well, that's the
fortunately
most
for
important
him,
thing, isn't it?
can all be found in Tracy's varied and supersized diet.
Now, look, I can't complain about this. This is sensible breakfast, all right? What do you often have for lunch?
Slop in the
Crisps. Crisps or
Chocolate.
or chocolate.
Oh, I hate it. Oh, it's
That's
so
not
repulsive.
it. Have a look what you get through in a week of snacks, okay?
Oh, it's awful, isn't it? And
Didn't
the
see
thing
that
is,
much going
I like all of these things. I just don't want to see them in a tube pressed down with piss. I quite like crisps, quite like piss.
Didn't feel that much going in.
No, it's easy when it goes, isn't it?
The average woman requires 2,000 calories a day, but Tracy's eating 3,400. That's 23,800 calories every week, and a staggering overeat of 5 days' worth of food.
That doesn't sound like a normal working body, though. That sounds like addiction, doesn't it? Oh, here she is! Ban big body slits, girl. Gillian's gonna come and sniff your bum.
Bottoms beware, I'm coming after you.
Oh, my God.
Britain's got the biggest botties in Europe, measuring in
slit.
an average of 40.5 inches.
Is there a problem with having a big bum? No.
And I've spent the last 8 weeks tracking down the best toning and training techniques to trim down
Oh, yeah, she nearly was knocked
101
out by this
fat
guy, wasn't she?
tushes.
Stop calling him.
Thanks to me,
International
ladies are
conflict Mark
loving
II.
their newly reduced rears.
Right.
Because from Cardiff to Coventry, from the north
Are we
to
seeing
the
the
south,
culmination
I've gotten
now
rid
of
of over
this?
115 inches of bum flesh. But I'm not done yet.
Right.
Tonight, I'm battling the backsides in Basingstoke.
I bet every cameraman.
wide.
I'm so surprised that there hasn't been like a lawsuit against the camera people in this show being like, well, he tried to shove an entire Sony FX3 up my nunny, girls. I can't believe I've just said that sentence, but I definitely would not be surprised if we hear some sort of like scandals broken out about these sorts of shows, because it feels so exploitative. You do not need to take your camera against a woman who's wearing lingerie on a normal TV show and be like, oh, do you? There's no way in hell that A, I would even agree to that, but B, how that would be like acceptable. It would never pass an ethics board now. Do you reckon Gillian's got a fetish? She's a poo queen, isn't she?
That's longer than a 6-ton articulated lorry. The rinds
Well,
on
it's
these
not, though,
weirds
because
are
these are
far
individual
too
women.
thick for my liking.
I could be like, well, everyone's hair, if you measure it from top to tail and then you put it out against 17 dump trucks, what's bigger, girls? These are real-life human women, and you do not need to be like, well, they're almost like a dump truck.
So I'm going to play
Farmyard.
dirty to get these piggy posteriors
Oh,
back
they're
into
gonna
shape.
piggy posteriors. Maybe she's gonna go and marry that pig boy from Don't Tell the Bride.
And you're a dirty pig boy.
Hello, Sandra girl.
You all want tight tushes, right? Well, farm labour burns up to 517 calories an hour.
Right, well,
So that's why mucking
we
out
should
the
all go and be
pigs then
farmers then,
is
shouldn't we,
an
Jilly old
excellent
girl?
way to tone up your behinds. Get a shovel, girls, and start mucking. Give it a bit of welly. Just think of the calories that you're burning.
She is a poo queen. Gillian, the fetishist, humiliation
It's only
fetish
been a
poo queen.
minute. Could you go back and get more straw? Straw, thank you.
We're walking nicely. Come here.
If she spoke to me like that on TV, I'd be like, Gillian, girl, Gilly, come here, let me see the back of your head. Pressed into the pigsty.
It's eating the bag.
Piggies are quite cute though, aren't they? Are they? I don't know. Sometimes I think they are, and sometimes I'm like, no. Oh no, oh, not your chemise jumper, girl.
Look, we're going to be here all year. Dump the shovels down, please. I've got another idea.
Oh God.
Well, they certainly made a pig's ear of that. But I've got another mucky method in mind to slim down their saggy seats. A mud wrap.
Now, ladies, in order for this to be successful,
more
you'll need to
poo.
get down to your paper thongs.
Right, so she definitely. This is fetish content now, isn't it? This
This
is
clay formula is
smearing
designed
baby
to
play
reduce the
fetish
toxins
content.
in
Like
the bum
that
and
angle.
thigh.
That angle is so not needed. So not needed.
Toxins build up between and around our fat cells, and fatty foods, caffeine, smoking, and alcohol are all major causes.
Really get it
You can't extract it through mud.
See?
The manufacturers claim that mud draws out toxins through the pores
Oh,
in the
shut
skin.
up.
The cleansed skin is supposed to regain its elasticity, and the bum and thighs should contract and get smaller. This technique, while not permanent, promises results after just one session. The home kit costs £49.
So what does it do, draw out
for 4
water?
to 6 treatments.
No, it can't.
Later,
Well,
I'll
maybe.
be
Maybe it could
remeasuring
dry
to
out your
find
skin
out
a
if
little
this
bit, I guess.
method really is a muddy marvel.
I don't understand. I really don't. Okay, I'm interested to hear about that because in my mind, I'm like, scam, 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 scam.
The food clinic and the first meal of the diet swap.
Right.
Alex Tracy's cheese toasty for Tracy's ginormous roast dinner.
Right.
And it
Oh, I love
seems
a roast
one is more
dinner.
impressed than the other.
I love a cheese toast.
The only
Three,
two foods I
two.
can't eat, and that's cheese and eggs.
Oh, God.
And cheese
Colour
makes
of
me
that.
vomit.
Cheese makes a vomit.
Tracy can only watch as Alex tucks into her
Food
favourite
aversion,
meal
perhaps?
of the week.
She gets to eat it slowly.
Don't do slowly. I eat things very quickly.
I reckon this show was written by someone with an inflation fetish and a feeding fetish.
Fucking cheese! It's been half a decade since Alex had a meal this big, but that doesn't stop him wolfing down his gravy-laden chicken, roasties, mashed potato, stuffing, cabbage, broccoli, green beans, and 2 Yorkshire puddings. And it's not long before he feels the effects.
I've eaten that far too quickly and far too much. I don't know how she copes with that much
How is this ethical
food
to
in
make
general.
someone
I mean,
like,
that's a lot of
ill?
food, especially one sitting, and then to have like snacks round it. That's hit me like a brick. Oh. I'm gonna stay like this for a minute. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Ouch. But there's no let-up. The next morning, to try and get his underfed body back into the routine of eating, Tracy serves up something Alex isn't used to. Breakfast. Tracy, however, isn't so lucky.
Okay, that is a little bit.
I'm gonna fill me up for the day then.
Isn't it meant to be like 35
caffeine,
grams?
no.
Oh God, what it is.
Yeah, that doesn't
Served
seem
on a
fair
plate,
somehow.
as if.
It's a hard pill for Tracy to swallow.
Oh,
and though
yeah,
Alex
you're
isn't
full
in
of
the habit of
puns,
morning
girl.
eating, he manages to tuck into his muesli. If, like Alex...
Oh, Rolly will be pleased.
I want to talk to the manager, girl.
Here are our golden rules for filling out to a healthier weight. Never go without breakfast.
Lies.
Eat something that's high in carbohydrates like porridge, toast or cereal. Make sure to include 3 healthy snacks in your daily diet. Pack in plenty of lean protein like chicken or fish. And finally, don't feel guilty about what you eat. The tastes, textures and colours are there to be enjoyed.
Interesting. Very basic information there. Nothing groundbreaking or helpful, really.
Both my dinner and my breakfast and finished it, no problem.
This swap shows that Alex can eat and he actually enjoys his food. His problem is he's just lazy and food is right at the bottom of his list of priorities.
He's looking down like, hello everyone over there. Yes, he loves to be a woman.
Dr. Jessen's going to show him how being underweight is jeopardising his health.
Oh, it's almost like an art exhibition.
With, he's decided to hit Alex where it hurts the most.
A crotch shot.
Here's
Several
manhood.
crotch shots.
Because your diet is so bad, this is not going to be working properly. And I'm not just talking about sort of erections and functions like that, but your sperm. You're lacking important things like zinc and vitamin E and other vital minerals.
Sucking dick and cock.
That are really important for sperm.
I wasn't aware that it could, you know, my
Maybe he
diet
doesn't
could
want sperm.
that.
It can
What
affect
then?
your fertility directly, like that. And
that's not good, is it?
Being underweight can lower a man's sex drive. A diet lacking vitamins in the mineral zinc can reduce sperm performance and your chances of fatherhood. Alex's skinny frame and lack of body muscle is a clear sign that he's undernourished.
there's not the sort of masculine muscle bulk there, is there? Around the shoulders and around here, it's very, very bony. You're just not eating enough to sustain yourself.
I don't think there's any wrong,
first of all,
anything wrong
your
with
muscle
being
strength
bony.
won't be as good as it should be.
Interesting.
And also, the energy that your body is trying desperately to get is not coming from your diet, it's coming from you.
Scrawny Alex is not just lacking bulk, but stamina too. So he often feels tired and lethargic.
That's
because
what
he's
we've
so
heard him
thin,
say.
his body has to break down its own muscle to refuel. Alex, therefore, is being doubly hit by his diet. He feels weak because his muscles are small and because he doesn't have enough energy to use them.
Wow. Chicken leg.
What do you think? Chicken leg?
Yeah, that's amazing.
You should have a little bit more muscle bulk around your thigh and things.
Yeah.
And I'm really concerned that it's like this because of what you're eating and the fact that you've just sort of digested yourself.
Don't know how they keep me stood up right now.
Fortunately for Alex, he can change this. Providing he gives his body the energy it needs through a balanced diet and regular eating, his muscles should rebuild and he won't feel so sluggish.
This is very,
Well, Alex almost
basic
never-
information, though, isn't it? It's not giving him, or people like him, an accurate plan. It's just kind of being like, oh, protein builds muscles. So eat more protein, you build more muscles. It's always good to remember, though, as well, muscles are built at rest. The gym and exercising actually breaks down muscle fibers in order for your body to replenish them bigger and stronger than before. So if you're a little gym bunny, make sure you get your rest days in. They're very important.
While Alex almost never eats, Tracy hardly ever stops. So having to prepare the national snack of Welsh cakes for someone else to eat is going to be
What's
a
a
huge
Welsh
test.
It's a bit hideous getting me to cook my Welsh cakes for him, so yeah, it's not really fair, is it?
What are they? Potato and...
That's really nice, actually.
As Alex sits down to enjoy Tracy's national nibble, she looks
National
like she's missing her munchies.
Tracy's boredom and lack of discipline are constantly sending her off snacking, and if she's going to have any chance at all of losing weight, she needs to crack this bad habit.
Okay. Crack the habit.
It's the second night of...
Might it be a little bit more than a habit, perhaps?
It's the second night of the swap.
Right, what's this?
And dinner time.
Dinner? The
After
dinner
24
witch.
hours of surviving on snacks, Tracy's relieved to finally get something she can eat.
Pancake?
Tonight's choice is much better than last night's cheese on toast.
As Tracy gratefully tucks into her chicken, rice and peas, Alex plows into his cheese-free pizza.
Cheese-free?
This is actually a bit...
Because she can't eat cheese.
Fucking cheese!
In the past couple of days, I've been full, solidly. It's bizarre.
Oh, I do
It's
like
a bizarre
peas.
feeling.
Hate
Despite
peas.
feeling full.
Peas. Peas are the worst little pods of sour distaste and sadness upon this planet. A bad seed on this earth.
Love pink.
Undernourished Alex has polished off everything he's been given on the swap so far. Chomping his way through another big meal starts him thinking about his attitude to food.
I feel like it's not unusual that we hear of like tall, slender guys being able to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and their bodies just don't react to it. I feel like we all know someone like that, don't we?
I specifically won't eat anything that'll take longer than 5 minutes.
Why?
Who would you have to be?
I don't know.
A bit
I've
lazy.
thought that a lot, recently, like over the past couple of days. Because I'm not always constantly my excuses that I'm in a rush for something. And when I come to think about it, I have absolutely no idea what I'm in a rush for.
Alex isn't the
That
only
sounds
one
like a
baffled
habit
by
of
how
thought.
his weight got out of hand, because
this?
life for Tracy hasn't always been so large.
Oh, I looked
That is
through the
it. That's a
lookbook.
picture of me when I was about 27 and I did lose a lot of weight. And that's why I hope to get back to again, because that picture up there, it doesn't even look like me, does it? It looks like a pretty person. When I got married, I put all that weight on.
Relationships
doesn't
do
look like the
tend to
same
do that,
person,
don't
does
they?
it? Even my mouth is smaller, my eyes, everything.
Tracy isn't the
does
only
look
one
quite
wanting her past physique back.
That boy over there is very cute.
Oh, isn't he?
And he looks like he eats proper food as well.
He did that, yeah.
His little chubby cheeks. You've got your little taekwondo thing on there as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably the healthiest point in my life, because I was eating properly, I was doing lots of exercise.
But you're literally like 8 years old.
So what happened between there and now?
I don't know, laziness.
Memory lane has reminded Tracy and Alex of how healthy they once were.
Yeah, but
having
let's take it into consideration here. We've had two very different stories here, and one is clearly a bit more drastic than the other, right? This isn't a balanced... They're trying to make it out as if like, this balanced show, they're both as bad as each other, girly wig. It feels like the show is trying to portray that, but also not addressing the fact that this isn't really a balanced situation to begin with. We're looking at like someone point at their childhood photo and go, this is when I was really healthy, like as a child.
And having seen Alex once so well fed, Tracy's curious to know how he feels about his bad binging.
How long do you think you could keep eating like you are like that?
I think I could probably squeeze another 3 or 4 years out of it, but I think physically I'm going to start deteriorating. I mean, I already feel knackered all the time.
With 3 days still to go, the swap's already opened Alex's eyes to how destructive his usual eating habits are.
And the thing is, these things do catch up with you once you stop growing.
Day and all throughout the night.
Your habits last with you. Good habits last a lifetime, as they say. All right, here we go. Muddy bums, unnecessary shots.
Got their muddy mission.
But it's healthcare, YouTube. This is health, educational healthcare.
Did mud wraps reduce those rather round rears?
Ladies of Basingstoke, you got all wrapped up in that mud, didn't you? So have your bums bitten the dirt, or do they belong in the farmyard? Let's take a look.
Well, these tushes are looking trimmer and feeling slimmer.
It's a fit bum.
But as always, it comes down to the tail of the tape.
I've lost 2 inches and I've gone from 39 to a 37.
I'm sorry,
Before
how
we did
can
the wrap,
mud
I was
reduce?
55 inches. Gillian's just measured me and I'm 49 and a half. I've lost 5.5 inches and I'm really pleased.
I just don't... I do not see
It's good,
how.
it makes your skin nice and smooth. So
Where's it going? Where is it going? If you're putting mud on your body gets rid of things, those things are going to be leaving you. Where is it going? If the mud coming off you is not weighing more than the mud you've put on, where is it going? That could just be, this is not a fair test. That could just be general life behavior. Any scientists out there, any other scientists in the audience, please corroborate the fact that I am not going completely bonkers, because where is the science? It's the same people who think that a hard drive that's full of files weighs more than a hard drive that is empty. You are not putting anything physical into those hard drives. They do not weigh more or less. They weigh the same.
it makes your skin nice and smooth. So
That I will agree with. If it exfoliates and makes the skin nice and smooth and hydrated, lovely. But hydrated is putting water into something.
Where the Welsh ladies on their surfing simulators
So you would assume that it would
lost
get
an
bigger?
average of 2.32 inches.
Right.
But can my Basingstoke backsides make Cardiff a bum score?
Did the mud mumbling mimble bobs beat the surf sappy syphilis ladies?
19 inches.
That's an average loss of 2.38 inches per bottom, which means Basingstoke and their mud rats take first place
How?
and top my band Big Bums leaderboard.
How?
It was a dirty job, but a job worth doing. Well,
If this was true, and you had like, I don't know, a bit of excess adipose tissue under here, you could put mud under here and be like, oh my God, facelift, girls. I'm having an existential crisis. I just simply do not believe. I need more information, more evidence. Be slow to believe.
well done, good job.
Is this
but a
sponsored
job
by
worth
Big Mud or
doing.
something?
Well done, girls.
Well done, girls, though. That is quite impressive, you know. Apparently your bums have been banned.
It's day 3 of the diet swap.
Daytona Beach.
Tracy's been feeding Gangly Alex her plate-packed portions.
Gangly Alex?
And as he faces another
Thought
feast
you
to
could put that
start
in
the
the tea,
day,
then. HP sauce in your coffee, girl.
Go Alex special.
Right, what's this?
What is that?
Oh, is that a nutrient drink?
Well, it's a meal
Nourishment,
replacement
whatever.
shake. Alex has got the
Those
works.
ones
A
taste
full-cooked breakfast with fried bread, toast, tea and a large glass of milk.
Oh God, a glass of milk, but she can't eat cheese.
Tracy usually loves her strawberry milkshakes, but this nutritional drink doesn't quite hit the mark.
I love a milk.
I'm not sure if it's...
Do you know what? I'm partial to? If you're ever in southern Spain, you have to try a frappe latte. Ah! It's literally like liquid milkshake, ice cream, coffee. Oh, it's amazing.
A meal replacement, because you're just getting a drink that tastes like what strawberry should taste like. Why not have a strawberry?
I couldn't imagine eating
because
a full English
strawberries aren't a
breakfast
full
on
meal.
a daily basis, or not even a weekly basis.
Oh God.
Wake up to eat just seems a bit like, well, what's the point? I need to get out of that mindset. It's ridiculous. If the rest of the country can do it, then why the hell can't I?
There is a balance to have between it, but also work with your body, don't work against it. Work smarter, not harder, as they say. If your body does not want to eat anything directly as soon as you wake up, do not fear, do not worry, do not overthink it. Work with what you have and not always against it, because it's going to feel like such an uphill battle if you're constantly working against your body and not with it to enjoy things. Same thing goes with like exercises that you enjoy. If you were to tell me I have to go on a cross trainer and stare at a wall in a gym and do half an hour every other day, how I would be so miserable. But if you say go on a photography hike, go out with your dog for 2 hours for a brisk walk, up little hills and over little rocks and down across little rivers, that is so much more infinitely enjoyable and working with my body, with my likes, with my life. I realise it's a bit of an extreme example, but I'm getting the point across of like, work with your situation. If you're working against it, it just gets so bleak so quickly and you're not going to want to do it.
So to demonstrate what they'd usually buy for their meal break, they pop to the local pub.
Pop to the pub,
and
girl!
it's more hearty food for Alex.
Oh.
This time a steak, baked potato and salad. But once again, Tracy's side of the table looks small in
What is that?
comparison.
Giant sandwich.
What is wrong with this picture?
Nothing's wrong with that. Lunchtime, that is exactly what you should be eating, a bacon butty.
But it seems
Oh,
Tracy isn't the only one unhappy with her meal.
Bacon butty.
This steak is, it's all right. I mean, I do prefer rare.
That's gorgeous. That's worth it, though. Look at that.
Yeah, all right.
That's an 8-ounce fillet there.
Still burnt, though.
And as newborn food connoisseur,
Well,
Alex
yeah, I mean,
starts
like,
to
how
pick
you like
fault
your
with his
food.
food. Famished Tracy starts to pick fault with him.
He likes it medium rare. He likes it pouring with blood. He still eats it. Every single bite of it. And
Yeah,
it's not
but that's not a
being
bad
too
thing,
big.
is it?
He ate that as well. All the salad. I don't like red onions. They do something to me. Ate the red onions too. For someone who doesn't like to eat or hasn't got the time and is not always fussed about eating, he's doing a really good job of eating, isn't he?
Is that a bad thing? Are we meant to think that that's bad? Like, he seems to be having a personal breakthrough with why and his own personal relationship with food and intake and time and management and lifestyle. That's not a bad thing. That's what we want from this show. We don't want shaming people for behaviour you want to see more of is bonkers. It's ridiculous to do that.
Dinner time. Alex is already eaten a
Ferrero
huge
Rocher.
supper and he's got chocolate
Do you know,
for dessert.
I don't know how many people here are going to sympathise with the story that I'm about to tell you. When I was younger, I was led to believe that Ferrero Rocher are like the food of the ultra-rich, the top 1% of society. We cannot possibly ever have a Ferrero Rocher from Asda unless it's Christmas Day. And even then, only one because it's so posh. Was anyone else told this in Britain? Because to me, I look at these and I'm like, oh my God, the elusive, a Ferrero Rocher, the ultimate food of leisure. They're literally always on offer in Tesco or Asda or anything. I don't know where this idea of like, oh, posh snacks, posh chocolate, can't have that, much too good for you. Did everyone live the same life, or is it just me?
And he's got chocolate for dessert.
Quite chuffed with that.
Oh no, he's not giving her 10
But for her
donuts,
main
has he?
course, Tracy's having a bag of 10 sugar-coated, sickly sweet donuts.
How is this
What I've done is
sensible?
overwhelming.
Imagine if she was pre-diabetic and the show has just given her 12 donuts to eat as a dinner. How this passed an ethics board, I just don't understand.
This amount of donuts is overwhelming.
Tracy normally loves sweet snacks, but eating nothing but them is making her realise just how bad for her they are.
I thought tonight I would have something like he eats on his way home, like a pizza or a kebab, and I thought at least I'll have some meat and a proper meal.
Despite feeling hungry after her poultry lunch, Supersize Tracy rejects Alex's sickly donuts after a few mouthfuls.
That is crazy.
I can't eat these. I gave you a selection of stuff. Like you had steak and potato and salad and mushrooms. I just got a dough and some raspberry jam.
Yeah.
Watching Tracy's...
You can tell she's getting a bit frustrated or perhaps a little bit agitated by seeing this guy just literally have a nutritionally poor diet and still be like tall and very, very slim, in fact, unhealthily so. You can get that there's like a tinge of almost like, why is this the way you are and why is this the way I am? Because I would never, ever, even on my tiredest day, be like, do you know what? 12 donuts for dinner.
Are you sure? Watching Tracy struggle with what he usually eats has given Alex a wake-up call.
I think you could tell anyone and they'd be like, stop being insane. 12 donuts for dinner, grow up.
I eat rubbish. I'll look at it like that, it's just ridiculous. So, yeah, it's got to change. It has to. It can't continue this
He does
way.
seem to be having a breakthrough.
Tracy is struggling on Alex's erratic menu.
I'm not
and this morning
surprised.
is
I don't
no
know.
exception.
How is this loud?
This morning, Tracy, having a lovely meal of nothing. Because some mornings I do just completely skip breakfast.
Where's
As
your
Tracy
ecstasy
sits
go?
down to a plate of nothing, Alex sits down to a breakfast of muesli and 2 bags of beef crisps.
Beef crisps?
And
Do
he
they do
tucks
them
in.
anymore? Beef?
I
It
feel
really
like I'm
might be
missing the
beef.
textures of food and what flavours taste like. Every time he's eaten something of mine, you know how tasty it is. And then he gives me this for breakfast. I don't understand.
Yeah, but it's also not, don't forget, he's not giving it to you. It's the concept of the show.
Flavours and foods. Now his taste buds have been awakened, he can understand what Tracy's missing on his mundane and measly diet.
I don't think his taste buds have been awakened here. I guess I just don't really quite understand the storyline of this episode because we're starting to see like character development of like someone who's a bit aloof and someone else who's a bit like, oh, why? Resolution and conflict.
It's fair enough, really. I'd be upset if I wasn't used to it.
Because of his physical job, Alex claims not
really
to have
like
time to think about food.
drumming this home,
but
don't they?
telesales worker Tracy is just the opposite. So he's taken her for a plastering lesson to take her mind
Oh my
off her
god,
rumbling
right, okay,
tongue
we haven't seen
and
this
give her
before,
a
have we? Like,
workout.
switch the, oh, that's a whisk. You call it a whisk, you mix up your plaster, yeah, and you do a
Okay,
little
not a
layer
great
first,
start.
and then you do a
Physical
big
work
layer
isn't something
afterwards.
telesales
and you
Tracy
go
is
feeling.
used to. For Tracy to lose weight, she needs to start doing a little bit
Oh,
more
dear,
with
no,
her
that's
body,
not very
a
good,
little less with her mouth.
How cool does that look?
Absolutely
Oh
cracking.
my God.
The plastering looks like it's paying off, as the more Tracy gets into it, the less her empty belly seems to be bothering her.
You forget that you're even hungry, and it does happen. So yeah, when your mind is active on something else, you tend to forget about your hunger. And the
Also, some level of exercise and endorphin release will naturally suppress your appetite.
I was expecting to be a bit more knackered after that, but she seemed fine.
Thank you very much.
Very nice, I must say. It's very good.
Job well done.
Indeed.
Interesting. We're now seeing like an socio-economic climbing on this show.
Everyone in the family needs a certain amount of food to get through the day. But if
God,
you take
here we
in
go.
more
It's
energy
Gillian
than you
back
burn
this time,
off,
bums and
you'll
chickens.
put on weight.
She put a whole rotisserie chicken up her nunny.
She's a woman.
Get to ask the checkout guys and girls if Mum knows best.
Quickly,
when it comes
bring
to
the
counting
himbos.
Calories.
Nothing beats getting cosy around the table with your nearest and dearest as you settle down to a cosy family meal. I've got 3 versions.
Is she going to swallow them whole?
I've never made any secret of the fact that I am a complete tart.
I've got 3 versions to show you. Version 1.
Right, what's this?
Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, all the trimmings with the veg. Version 2. Spaghetti bolognese with extra lean onions and garlic bread.
Shut it up, you spag bog.
Version 3. Bangers and mash with onion gravy and vegetables. Question is, which typical British meal is the highest in calories?
Oh, the roast dinner, surely.
I would say this one. You think roast beef and Yorkshire pudding? Boys,
maybe spaghetti bolognese.
Join in.
Garlic bread.
Soft, show your muscles. Come on, don't be
She's a proper little light.
Oh, he's going to do it.
Imagine going into Asda and doing all this to these
The
poor
roast beef and
people.
Yorkshire pudding.
That one?
The spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
That would
Bolognese. Why is she bolognese?
Spaghetti.
Why do you think the spaghetti bolognese has the most calories?
Bolognese?
Because this is all carbohydrate and loads of beef.
I would actually say the roast beef Yorkshire pudding.
The results are in. Almost half the people who work in the supermarket think that roast beef and Yorkshire pudding with vegetables is the highest in calories.
Yes,
Are they right? Or are they wrong?
Well, they couldn't be more wrong. Coming in highest was the spaghetti bolognese with a whopping 810 calories.
Especially if it's like
For the
smothered
same
in
amount of
butter and
calories,
garlic
you could eat 2 servings of shepherd's pie with vegetables.
Right. Imagine
4
measuring
servings
something
of
in
grilled pork
measurements
steak
of
with
shepherd's
salad,
pie.
or 81 large mushrooms.
My
Next,
81
with
mushroom lunch.
784 calories was the sausage
Okay, so they were so
mash,
close.
gravy
7, 8,
and
4, and
mixed
8, 10
veg.
is so
But if
close.
you like your sausages, I have 3 lower calorie alternatives for
All
you.
unavailable now. Thank you.
And
Broken
the winner
economy.
was the roast beef meal with only 637
Interesting.
calories.
Okay.
To make sure that you can boast that your roast is good for your family, choose a lean cut of meat, don't butter up the veggies, and watch out for how many Yorkshire puddings you put on your plate.
Well, that's exactly it, because how much gravy are you having? What have you roasted your roast potatoes with? Are they goose fat? Are they low sodium oil, whatever they say? Have you literally smothered your beef in lard, perhaps, you know?
They say this pussy's squeaky.
And perhaps a £700 family pack of butter on your peas.
Oh, that's marvellous.
Thank you, himbos. See you later.
Oh, well. Tried.
Right, here we go.
It's the last day of the,
The last
swap.
day,
And this
the
morning,
last
Alex has exchanged chocolate bars for Tracy's sensible porridge.
What is that?
But if the chocolate is the sweet, then Tracy's the sour because she is not happy.
It's a really bad breakfast. I feel disappointed that this is what you have for breakfast.
I do find it utterly insane that she's just been stuffed full of donuts and chocolate bars.
And that does get me from A to B.
I'm not going to eat any of this, Alex, because it's just crap.
It is. I agree.
I don't know. It's what you've had this week is what I would have had on an average week. I'm not dead.
I did not want that for breakfast. And then he tried to defend it, and he's reasons why this is good for your breakfast, and I can't believe it.
I don't think he said it's good for you.
For years, Tracy's
look,
always
there's
said
animosity,
yes to
isn't there?
cakes and snacks, but now she's learning to say no. This swap is teaching her some self-discipline and some control over what she's eating, and that's something that she's never had before.
Who are you talking to? I don't think that's true.
Those calories. Here's our guide to losing weight healthily and keeping it off.
Oh, penguin bars.
Junk
remember
the
them?
sugary snacks. They're also high in fat. Refined sugar and carbs are full of calories and play havoc with your metabolism.
Yes.
Plan your meal times so that you don't run out of essentials and end up filling up on unhealthy snacks.
Actually,
if you
planning
are
full
going to eat
stop is a
between
good
meals,
one.
make it something healthy like fruit or nuts. Again, planning ahead is key.
See, I'm not a huge fan of fruit. I just don't like fruit. I think there is a way that you can, enjoy parts of life and parts of being like naughty with your naughty diet, like a bit of ice cream, bit of chocolate, naughty. There are ways that you can do that without having to immediately cut out absolutely everything you've ever wanted ever, because life is still about enjoyment. And you kind of want to make choices in life that help prolong that enjoyment. I would say the majority of us feel that way anyway.
Planning ahead is key. And finally, the golden rule. Always leave the table feeling you could have eaten just a little bit more.
Yes. This is one of those things where, well, I don't necessarily agree completely with that sentiment. But very much when I was growing up, we still had the prevalent post-war mentality of finish all your food because you don't know where your next meal is coming from. Actually, now food is in abundance, regardless of like the socioeconomic status. Food, you can go to a supermarket and it is abundantly filled with food, and that's really not going to stop anytime soon. Well, fingers crossed anyway. So my dad, we have had our ups and our downs, but when I was younger, when I was like a child, the portions that he would put on my plate were very much like an adult's portions, and I very much had to live by the rule of finish your plate before you can leave the table. Looking back at it now, I have told him like that is bonkers to suggest that a tiny child should be eating this much, and he understands now, but very much also of the opinion of like, well, that's what we did when we were younger. Breaking that cycle of introduced habits and almost socialized food culture, if you like, around the idea of breaking this negative relationship with food. Like, you do not need to feed a child the same amount as what an adult, a fully grown adult in work would eat. Oh, it was a different time, girls. It was a different time. And sometimes the things that you've done all your life are the hardest things to break.
Is that tea?
It's the last and final meal offering. Alex gets chicken burger, baked beans and a Coke. But he disappoints his eating buddy again with more chocolate.
Yeah, I would be at this point just like sick of it. Just like throw it out the window.
What is that?
Bye, girl.
More chocolate
Just
after breakfast of chocolate.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had any proper food, I would get heartburn, and that would make me grumpy. And I'd rather just be grumpy and not in pain than grumpy and in pain.
That told you, didn't it? It isn't his
Alex
fault,
has
though.
enjoyed
Like, he's not
food
forcing
on
you
his
to
side
eat
of the
this.
swap, but the last 5 days hasn't just advanced his appetite. Observing his daily diet has also been a wake-up call.
Observed.
Watching Tracy eat the food that I eat, especially today, has really shown me how bad my diet is.
The diet swap has come to an end, but has the shock therapy been
it's
enough for
ended.
Alex and
Shock
Tracy
therapy.
to change their eating habits and embrace a regular and balanced diet?
Right, let's see.
So,
This is
here we
your
are. We
week.
got to the end of the week. How's it been? Tracy?
Difficult.
Huh?
Difficult.
Has it? You find it tough?
Difficult.
more
Lemon.
junk than normal, yeah.
More drunk than normal, then?
Yeah.
Alex, what have you enjoyed most about this week?
I experienced a lot of new foods, a lot of things I wouldn't usually have.
And lots of fruit and veg?
And lots of fruit and veg, yeah.
What one bit of advice do you think you'd like to give Alex?
Plan your meals and write a list at the beginning of each week. Get a shopping list going.
Well, look, I've got your diet plan, so Tracy,
Yeah.
that's yours. Alex, that's
Part of
yours.
it is just to be like,
Don't
try and be a functional
let
adult.
me down, okay? It's hard work. Alex, you can't be lazy anymore. You've got to make the time. And no more snacking, all right? And there better be some big changes, okay?
Daddy has spoken, girls.
This
Get
diet
your
swap has
anus
definitely
to
shown me that when I
voxel.
eat my crisps and my chocolate and my pop, that it is basically because of boredom.
Right, so do we have a result? Are results in?
However it's been in the past,
Believing.
it has to change. I have to make time to eat breakfast, lunch and dinner. If I don't,
That's quite
there's
an
no
emo
point.
belt.
And that's the whole point of this. I want to make like a difference. I just want it to be a nice, stable diet where I'm feeling good all throughout the day.
Their 5 days in the food clinic has had its ups and downs, but Alex and
They called it the
Tracy are
food
only
clinic there,
just
not the
over
feeding
the first
clinic.
hurdle. They've now got to go their separate ways and stick to their new balanced diet plans for the next 10 weeks.
Oh, bye. See you all later.
Proper healthy eating has helped him fill out into a more manly frame.
Right, they're back.
It's been good. Been
oh,
eating,
God.
been doing
Get your kit
shopping,
off, girl.
Looking after myself. I'm not tired anymore. I'm not lethargic. I can wake up in the morning
And no more caffeine
like
pills in the
PB.
morning?
No more.
Oh, no, we
caffeine
can't
pills.
say that
I'm
anymore,
having
can we?
breakfast.
No
I'm
one say
having
that.
breakfast, yeah.
Do you think you've put on weight?
I do, yeah. I feel like I've put on some weight, yeah.
I think you definitely have. You look good. Should we go weigh you?
Yeah, let's go.
Come on with me.
This feels very Way the
Alex
Twink.
certainly looks like he's bulked up a bit, but has he managed to get himself to a more
I
healthy
actually
weight?
can't tell just by
Time for his
looking,
final
so-
weigh-in.
Look at you.
Oh, a glamorous lady to the red carpet.
What do you think?
Alex is
she's got
reunited
red
with his diet
highlights,
swap
very
partner
nice.
Tracy to share the results.
Alex, how much did you weigh when you first came here?
I think it was about...
10
not
4.
really, I think it was about 10 stone, I think, was it?
10 stone 4.
Ooh.
10 stone 4.
Ooh.
Well, you're now 10 stone 12. So you've put on 8 pounds. That's over half a stone.
Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that.
You're doing the right things.
fast
You are
in
eating
10 weeks.
breakfast.
It's all paid off.
Alex has also added 1.5 inches around his waist and
Is
half
that
an inch
healthy?
on
I
each
guess
arm.
that's healthy, isn't it? Gosh.
10 weeks
Okay,
ago,
that's quite a
Supersize
result.
Tracy had an unhealthy love of crisps and chocolate. So has she started to shift a few of those excess pounds?
19 stone 13 you were.
Right.
Quite a lot, wasn't it?
1913.
1913. Well, you're now 18 stone 3. You've lost 1 stone 10 pounds. That's nearly 2 stone.
Bong, that is
fantastic. I'm so happy. Well
That's
done. I'm really
wild.
Alex, what do you think?
That's
Really proud of that. Are you pleased?
that's almost in territory that would make me go a bit like.
She's also lost 3 inches off that
10
bulging
weeks, that's a
belly
lot.
and an
1.3.
incredible 4 inches around each thigh.
She's gonna have that.
Okay.
What's that?
What's
That's a Welsh flag. I really think Wales can be proud.
A
When I
Welsh
did this,
flag.
I didn't do it for anyone else, I did it for me because I'm the fat person and I'm the one that wanted to lose weight. So I'm
Do
really
it for
chuffed.
you. That is the most
I
important
know it's
part
2
to
stone,
remember.
but that's just
No
the
one else.
beginning.
Don't listen to anyone
Yeah,
else.
I
Do it
want
for
to be
yourself.
able to go into a normal shop and buy normal clothes instead of buying the ugly clothes from the fat shop.
I'm really glad I took part in this because it's sort of forced me to do what I knew I should have done anyway, but it's sort of given me that extra boost. And I don't really feel like it's that difficult. It's not really a chore. It's just eat properly.
Yes, plan your life
Alex
a bit
just
better.
needed to grow up, which he's now done. He's planning his meals and he's shopping ahead, and it's
Why
working.
does he
and he's
only ever
put on
talk about the
weight.
men?
Since I've been
Why is
on
he like,
this,
oh
since I've
yeah,
been, like, looking after myself and eating properly, it's probably the best I've felt and probably looked. So I'm really chuffed with that.
We're looking for people to take part in the next series of Supersize versus Superskinny.
No, I've got some thoughts. Well, my lovelies, I do think we've seen a very interesting episode here today that kind of goes to show very much of what a preconceived diet idea of what a super skinny person looks like might not necessarily eat anything. And then we were literally seeing them eat bags upon bags of donuts. And I think very much this episode lent heavily into the fact that just because someone is like thin does not mean they are healthy. And I think that's such an important part to remember of any weight management journey, even for myself here. I remember a couple of months ago, in fact, actually, it's probably a bit longer than that now. It's probably more like 7 months ago, gosh, that I saw a photo of myself where my cheekbone and jawbone was really quite prominent, a bit more prominent than I wanted it to be. And I looked at this photo and I said, I have lost more weight than I would like to. So then I eased off my deficit and my exercise routine just a little bit. And I'm now comfortably at a weight that I'm very comfortable at, and I can look in photos and not find issue with the way that I look, at least from a weight standpoint. I did find it interesting that there was a level of animosity towards the end, but we almost had, as I said, this kind of aloof sort of like, well, you know, it's just sort of the way I am and the way that it is. And then we saw the other person get visibly a bit frustrated with how the whole thing was laid out. I do think it's very important to remember, though, that it's not either of their fault, really. Like, they're not forcing the other person to eat as they eat. It's the show. And I think that's an important part to remember as like a viewer, is that any amount of like deficit or lifestyle change in this concept is it's gonna bring the worst out of people. It just is. But yes, I definitely know a few MySpace queens that would have gone absolutely wild for that guy. And with that, my lovelies, it's time for the Patreons. You can see yourself scrolling past on the screen right here. Yes, you can. Today's Luxeria Labs subscriber shout out goes to Ciabatta Buns. Thank you so much for subscribing to my second channel here on YouTube, Luxeria Labs, which is my tech, travel, and photography channel. Yes, if you wish to subscribe to that channel and potentially be featured in my next videos, subscriber shout out, make sure you go and subscribe to that channel. It is pinned in the comments below. And as always, I want to say a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons: Orkos Samoji, Ariadia X, Asgardians, Becky Johnson, Cameron Pittman, Shell Herman, ContraPoints, Finn Dunham, James A. Zengirl, Jenny Wood, Leanne Jones, Lenore, Les Banana, Mo Sherman, Morgan Lathay, Ms. Kiss, Paolo Rivera, Sky Dorim, Steph Utech, and TNS Mum. And you know what? I think I'm going to leave it on the notes of 12 donuts is not a dinner.